I'm David Fleming from the Disciples Ignited YouTube channel, where we're focused on Jesus, advancing his kingdom and preparing his disciples. Now, we're going to start a new study series on the wilderness journey of the Israelites from Egypt through the wilderness as the Lord took them into the promised land. Now, in this series about the Israelites' wilderness journey, we hope that you're going to be encouraged to have hope in these difficult times that we live in. You see, Romans chapter 15 tells us that everything that was written in the past was written to teach us, so that through the endurance taught to us in the scriptures and the encouragement that they provide, we might have hope. So that's the purpose of this series, to build hope within you as you go through difficult times, as everyone does. You see, Jesus was the one that delivered his people out of Egypt and took them through the wilderness and gave them entrance into the promised land. And he'll do the same for his people today. And so let's get started. Well, in Numbers chapter 33, we are told that the Lord had Moses write down all the stages of the journey of the Israelites as they came out of Egypt. And we see that, so the Lord had Moses record every single thing that he taught the Israelites through this long journey that really should not have taken a little more than a year to take the Israelites out of Egypt, through the wilderness, into the promised land. But yet it took over 40 years, is because his people were stubborn and didn't take hold of the lessons that God was trying to teach them. May we do better. Well, so let's get started. It really all starts in Egypt. Do you realize that the Israelites were in Egypt for 430 years? Exodus chapter 12, verses 40 and 41 is very explicit on this. It says, "Now the length of time the Israelite people lived in Egypt was 430 years. At the end of the 430 years, to the very day, all the Lord's divisions left Egypt." Now we know that the Lord really led the Israelites into Egypt, but why did he do that? Because it wasn't but one generation after they got settled in that really things went awry. Exodus chapter 1, verses 6 through 11 tells us, "Now Joseph and all of his brothers and all that generation died, but the Israelites were exceedingly fruitful. They multiplied greatly, increased in numbers, and became so numerous that the land was filled with them. Then a new king, to whom Joseph meant nothing, came to power in Egypt. 'Look,' he said to his people, 'the Israelites have become far too numerous for us. Come, we must deal shrewdly with them, or they will become even more numerous. And if war breaks out, we'll join our enemies, fight against us, and leave the country.' So what did they do? They put slave masters over them and oppressed them with forced labor, so that they used them as slaves." You might ask ourselves, why did the Lord take his children into Egypt, knowing that just after one generation they were going to be made slaves and they would stay in that condition for hundreds of years? It was a difficult time for the Israelites, for sure. But I want you to know, God had a plan, and he was going to reveal his redemptive plan not only for the Israelites, but for all mankind. So we've got much to learn. I'll see you tomorrow.